Hi, I'm Tisha,
I'm Loren.
and this is the Open Booked podcast. Today, we are talking about Quicksilver by Callie Hart. And this is the first in what is going to be a trilogy, apparently. I had to look that up this morning. It's called the Fae and Alchemy series. Of course, we're going to spoil it. So just be prepared for that whenever we're done kind of chatting about current events. But first, what are you reading?
I have a beef. I don't know if you read my notes.
Yeah.
So I've been talking about this for a few weeks, how I started reading the Devil's Night series by Penelope Douglas because of some TikTok videos that I saw. Turns out the part from the video is in the fourth book. I get through the third book and I'm ready to finally get to the fourth one, and it is not available on Everand until next month. So, mind you, when I started, I checked all books were available. This is one of my bitches about Everand, is it will change every fucking day. You will be halfway through a book, random day of the week, gone, hasta la vista. It'll be back in 90 days. Like, what the fuck? On top of the multitude of other issues, but that's my latest gripe. And I just finished Quicksilver literally about 10 minutes ago. So I have a wide open, clean slate, but I think I need a good thriller. So I'll probably read a thriller, either one of my book of the month thrillers, something on Kindle, Audible, I don't know. We'll figure it out. What about you?
I am still trying to read Psycho Shifters.
Okay.
I'm getting more into it, but yeah, still struggling through that. I just need freaking audio. Like, I can't read it at work. I can't focus to read it at home. So I just need audio. There's too much stuff to do when I get home from work and dealing with the kids. Like, I just can't sit down and read without staying up until midnight. And I can't do that either because then I'm tired and cranky the next day. So,
Adulting.
struggles, yeah.
And here's something I want to bitch about for a second. The comments I get about audiobooks not counting, that's why I made, if you follow our TikTok, I made a video of people flipping people off for that, and I mean it wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of funny because he's like acting like he's doing kung fu and then whips him out. Anyways, I just want to say, if you are a person with a job, kids, side hustles, if you're a busybody like both of us, if you haven't figured it out already, we're both busybodies and always have shit going on. And if we don't have shit going on, we make shit to go on. That's just, if you haven't figured it out, that's why we're friends. We're alike in that, okay? So, if you have time to do the things that we do and read actual books and get as many read as we do, good for you. I'm proud of you. You're great. Honestly, respect the shit out of it. Don't hate, because we listen to audiobooks mostly. I do read paper books. I do read Kindle. But a majority of mine and Tisha's listening or books are from audio because we are working. I am making candles. She's making magnets, cleaning the house, hanging up the shirts. Like, that's just when we get our reading in. And I just think we should stop hating on that. Okay?
Yes. And there have been multiple studies that say that you are able to retain more when you're listening to it than just reading it. So it's still consuming the information. It's still creating, at least for the majority of us, hopefully, it's still creating an image in your mind of what's happening. And it's still creating like empathy for characters and situations. So it's still valuable.
Yes. Whether you listen to 100 a year or 10, or read paper only, Kindle only, audio only, like, we're all doing the same thing. So don't hate, appreciate, as Black Eyed Peas would say. Okay. Tisha wrote this note. You guys are going to think it's funny. The Chiefs lost, and Loren is the reason. She wanted to see all the Chiefs fans upset.
I wrote that when I was editing last week. I was like, she said it.
I did, and I got my wish. I have a coworker who, she does listen sometimes, so she might hear this. She is a diehard Chiefs fan, and I was actually really respectful. And I walked in and was like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm good, whatever." One of my other coworkers walks in and goes, "Caw, acting like an eagle." I was like, "What?" She's not even an Eagles fan. She was just trying to ruffle feathers. I was almost crying. I was laughing so hard. But yes, The Chiefs fans lost their mind. The Eagles won. Honestly, they were the underdogs in this situation. I always will root for an underdog, even if my team is not the underdog. I love a good underdog story. It's just
Mm-hmm.
all there is to it.
Did you see there's apparently going to be an investigation because I think the Chiefs lost on purpose?
I've heard it all.
Tom Brady called for it.
Not Tom Brady. You're kidding, right? This is a joke.
I saw a video about it. It might be satire, but it seems legit because one of the NFL pages shared it, talking about the coach being investigated. That's wild.
Well, it was, if they did, it's because everyone was on to them getting favorited by the referees. And I talked about this last week, but the fact that there was a Super Bowl commercial, this was a local commercial too. Okay, did you see it? The Arrowhead boat commercial?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so the boat shop that did this is literally like 5 minutes from my house. It's just like the local boat sales, marina repair, just like the boat shop, right? Called Arrowhead, which Arrowhead Stadium is what Chief Stadium is called. Anyways, they did a commercial where they were doing like a coin toss, and they said, "This is heads, this is tails," and it was like not heads or tails. It was like different symbols, but they were telling you which symbol is which. And they said, "Chiefs call it," and they flew it up, and it landed, I think, tails, and the Chiefs had called heads, and they were like, "Heads it is." Like they manipulated. Oh my, I was crying. I was laughing so hard. I was like, way to go for them to like just jump on whatever trend. But I was laughing. What was your favorite commercial? I think I know.
The Ram commercial with
Glenn Powell. I mean Tamlin.
yes. That was a good one, but I am so traditional in that I love a Budweiser commercial
Me
with the
too.
Clydesdales. Like you bring those horses out and that's it. They win
Yep.
always.
Yep.
And then
me
I saw
too.
yesterday they posted a picture of all the little Clydesdale foals. And I was showing the boys, I was like, look how cute they are. They're still giant because they're Clydesdales, but they're so cute.
They were like training to be the next Super Bowl commercial stars or whatever. I almost cried. They're so cute. No, the one where the horse was like pushing the keg because it fell off the trailer or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so wholesome. I am with you, Budweiser, because sometimes they have a little golden puppy too, or like a lab puppy.
Yes.
Budweiser is probably most of the time my favorite Super Bowl commercial. I did laugh really hard at the Glenn Powell Dodge commercial. Just because I love Glenn Powell, and then seeing the hair, I was like, he's giving Tamlin, and then everybody said that on the book pages. I'm actually working on a TikTok for that to put on our page, but yeah, no, I was rolling at that one. I can't even think of any of the other ones. There were some funny ones.
I really like the Rocket commercial where they had, like, they broke a world record for the most people singing Country Road, Take Me Home.
Must have missed that. I would love that.
It was like a commercial break, and then they came back, and all the people at the stadium were singing along to the commercial, and they just briefly mentioned that it was Rocket. I was like, how funny that they showed the Rocket commercial singing Country Road, Take Me Home, and then they're singing it in the stadium too, and they said it was like intentional, but I was like, that was really weird.
That's kind of cool, though.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the elephant in the room being the halftime show?
Yeah. Because everybody's talking about it, and that's our entire social medias.
Yeah, that's what I was telling Tisha as I was prepping. I usually have like a half page of notes of current events in the world, and I texted her, "Do you know what's going on in the world?" I feel like my whole For You page is Kendrick Lamar saying, "Say Drake, I hear you like them young." But can we have a moment for his jeans? Everyone is talking about his jeans, and I immediately saw them and was like, those are adorable. I want them.
Every woman was.
Wants them, and all the men are like, what? And the middle-aged white women are like, at least they aren't past his butt. You know, I've seen those posts everywhere. I'm like, I agree, but still, like, come on. No, the jeans were cute. I do have a complaint, which I think you had the same one. I couldn't understand what he was saying because of like some sort of, I don't know, reverb or whatever. I couldn't hear him say like, they, should we play the favorite song? You know, they like to sue. I couldn't tell that's what he was saying. And a lot of people with YouTube TV, which is what we have, said the same thing. I don't know if it was just YouTube TV, but like I couldn't understand until, you know, the songs were going. I'd know which song, but Like, that was it.
Yeah.
But he
Like
did it.
in 2025, we shouldn't still be having these issues. Like,
Thank
it
you.
just doesn't make sense.
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so the whole controversy leading up to this, if you guys don't know, Kendrick Lamar and Drake have this running beef. I think it all started with Drake comparing himself to Kendrick Lamar, and then Kendrick Lamar decided he wasn't in the same league, but also he thinks Drake's a pedophile. Which, hey, 90% of them are, I think we've learned this year. So,
Mm-hmm.
not shocked. So, Kendrick makes this song, Not Like Us, where he literally says, Stay Drake, I hear you like him young, stay away from Cell Block 1, whatever. The little A minor part is really, he's like a lyrical genius. Say what you want about the type of music. Everybody on my Facebook pissed off that it was rap. They weren't pissed when it was Snoop Dogg, okay? They were pissed now.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, say what you want. If you look up the lyrics to his songs and what he did, he is like a lyrical genius, in my opinion. All the little
Mm-hmm.
innuendos and things he slides in there in like a, I want to say classier way, because he's like petty. He doesn't
Mm-hmm.
flat out accept the pedophile part. The rest of it's kind of like inferred based on,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just feel like he's really smart with that. But no, he wasn't. He was told that if he said Drake's name, or even, I heard even sang the song. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how true that. Sang the song, Not Like Us, which he just swept the Grammys with like 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
that he was going to get sued. He acknowledged getting sued and then still sang it,
Yeah.
which I think we've all learned we are not being petty enough. We are not.
No. There's room to grow.
There is room for improvement. Anyways, I enjoyed it. The memes coming out of this are great. I don't know if you've seen our TikTok. I was having way too much fun with that meme. I made several versions. But no,
Yeah.
it's one thing about our generation. We're gonna make a little jokey joke about whatever happens. We're gonna make it a meme. We're gonna make it a GIF. We're gonna make it a TikTok. We're gonna make it something, or all the above.
All of it. Yeah.
All of it. Next piece of business. Did you see the thing about Team USA hockey?
Mm-mm.
I guess this just happened yesterday. Jesse was sending me shit on Instagram this morning about it. So we played Canada, and I guess it was not expected that Canada's like, I feel like, known for hockey, right? I don't think it was expected. We were the underdogs, okay? Mm-hmm. When we played our national anthem, they booed, which is disrespectful. Within the first 9 seconds of the game, they fucking took their gloves off and beat the shit. I'm not even kidding. Look it up. 3 fights in 9 seconds. They were like, you are not gonna fucking disrespect us.
No.
I was like, that's shitty.
That's not very Canadian of them. They're supposed to be the friendly country.
Yeah, no, that was not very. I have seen videos where the sound went out during our national anthem and the Canadians finished it. Mm-hmm. Like, I literally, that happened a few years ago. I think we all, and somebody Canadian commented on my thing and was like, would you guys do the same for us? Maybe arrogant. I don't fucking know your national anthem.
All I know is, oh, Canada.
Oh, Canada, maple syrup. Don't you know? I don't fucking know. Hey? No offense, I don't know it. If I did, I would, absolutely. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, so I thought that was hilarious. And, I mean, they just, like, when I say fucking on the ice, gloves, go. Fucking helmets on and everything. I was like, holy shit, do not boo the national anthem to these guys. Do not. Anyways, and we ended up winning. So it was a really good underdog story. That's what you get when you're rude and disrespectful. Yes. Okay, last couple things I have, then I'm going to let Tisha talk about some stuff she knows that I know nothing about. The House of Night series. I don't know if you guys read those in middle school like I did, but this was like my book hangover from Twilight as a middle school Team Edward girly. I read the House of Night series. It's about vampires, so I don't know, Tisha, you may or may not like it, but it's like this school, if I remember, man, I'm going back to like 7th grade. It's like this college for vampires, but they for the first year started letting humans in too, because it's like a world where everyone knows about each other. And there's like this group of vampire hunters that like infiltrated the school and tried to like, I don't know. It was good. Yeah, it was good. And it was like, I don't know how they're making it a movie series because the books are little, but I think there's like 10 of them. There's a lot. When I was reading them, there was only a couple. So I actually looked at it at Barnes and Noble the other day, the set, because I hadn't finished all of them because they weren't out when I was a kid, and then I just grew up, migraines, and then, shit happens. So I actually probably am. I think it's young adult, but I remember as a kid there being a couple scenes where I was like, okay. So I think there is some spice, but I don't, compared to what we read now, it's probably, fade to black. But anyways, that's becoming movies, and it is a mother. Yeah, and Quicksilver is as well, which happened quickly. Mm-hmm. Like, that book just came out in 2024, right?
I think so, yeah.
Honestly, I've been seeing about it forever. We'll get into that when we get to that. Well, there's a movie that came out in 1986. That's not what I'm asking. Silver book.
It's becoming a TV show.
Maybe it is a TV show. It came out in the summer of 2024. It hasn't even been out a year yet.
Yeah, because Callie Hart announced it. She was like, you know how hard it is to keep this a secret?
Yeah. And there's another book in Quicksilver that's going to come out later this year. I think October, maybe, or November. Sometime in the fall, there's the second book in the series is out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's exciting. We always love when our books become movies and TV shows, so we can watch them and then say the book was better.
Yeah.
Last thing I'm going to mention is plane stuff. And I just want to start by making a statement that I'm going to Italy in September. And I probably will have to travel for work a couple times between now and then. And I am fucking terrified to fly.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on? This is what I'm wondering. Is more things happening? Or are more things happening? Or are we just hearing about it because it's all so relevant and this kind of stuff happens all the time? I don't know, genuinely. If someone in the aviation industry, the guy from Amalfi Jets, Colin, you see all those videos? If somebody tell me if this is normal, I would love to know, because in the past week, we've had 2 more incidents, I think. A military plane crashed in the ocean. And then a private plane owned by the lead singer of Motley Crue that was being chartered by somebody else who still hasn't been named that I've seen. So that tells me there's somebody.
Yeah.
We would have had a name within 24 hours if they weren't. We would have known. Runs into a parked plane that's owned by Vince Vaughn. Did you hear that? The parked plane was owned by Vince Vaughn, and the one landing was owned by Vince Neil from Motley Crue. But what happened was the landing gear had a problem, so they had like a rough landing and couldn't control it, which to me makes way more sense than all these other incidents. Like, yeah, I've wondered about that when I hear it, when I'm about to land and I hear it go, I'm like, that don't sound good. It pops in my head every time. So now I'm going to be even more scared about that.
Yeah.
But it tried to land and then hit Vince Vaughn's plane that I don't think anyone was on. But one person confirmed dead on Vince Neil's plane, and they still haven't said who it is. One person refused treatment, 2 were like in critical condition, and then 1 was hospitalized for minor stuff, but was going to be fine. I haven't heard about the 2 people in critical condition. I haven't heard who the person who died was. I haven't heard anything, which, like I said, tells me they're probably someone prominent. I mean, these are private jets. These aren't commercial. Like, this is money. These are people these are successful people, right? So, I don't know. I'm interested to hear who it was. Maybe it's somebody we don't know that just has money, or maybe it's a celebrity. I don't know.
Yeah. It's wild.
Maybe we never will.
I was thinking about that yesterday or last night. I think you're right. I think it happens often. We just don't hear about it because it's not big news, or they don't want it to be big news because you don't want people to be terrified to fly.
Yeah. That's bad for business.
Yeah.
Be like, so I think it's a 2-hour flight or 12-hour drive. I'm driving.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where my thought was. Like, this has to happen.
Yeah. Still
Okay, do you want
terrifying.
to talk? Yeah. Do you want to talk about the drone attacks?
I just happened to see, I searched like events happening in the world today, and this is just in the last couple days. A drone flew into, apparently they have a like a barrier or like a protective shield over Chernobyl, you know, to keep the radioactivity contained,
Yeah.
so that it's not contaminating and killing more people or causing more craziness.
Yeah.
But a drone flew into it, and it, of course, that is in Ukraine, which I
Hmm.
knew, but I forgot, I guess. And I guess the prime minister, or whatever he is, Zelensky, is blaming Russia. So who knows, if that's going to cause more fighting or counter action or whatever. But apparently that happened, I think, yesterday. It was reported here. So it was probably the day before there.
I mean, but when you're thinking about it as your enemy, if you are literally sitting on like an ex-nuclear warhead full of radiation, isn't that what it is? Like,
Yeah.
that's like I would think a no-brainer to attack that.
Yeah.
If you're thinking, like, obviously, my opinion on Russia, Ukraine, not my circus, not my monkey. I live in America and I am not entitled to have an opinion about what
Hmm.
goes on in other countries I don't live in.
Yeah.
And I think more Americans need to think like that. Anyways,
Yes.
I don't really give a shit what goes on over there, but thinking like a military strategy, it would make sense to me if it was
Hmm.
Russia doing that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Maybe we'll hear more. Maybe we won't. Probably won't.
Probably not.
And then also, there's stuff going on in California I had no idea about.
Yeah, they have had a shit ton of rain. There were talks of like a tsunami warning, but I think those have diminished.
Do they have an earthquake?
I think it was like way, way off the coast and could cause, repercussions. But
Got it.
they've just had a shit ton of rain, and, all of the greenery and wildlife is non-existent because it's been burned up over the last decade. So they're having catastrophic flooding and landslides, mudslides, like tons of roads are being blocked off because they're inaccessible because of the mud that's covering the streets and homes. I just saw a video where like these people are in their house and you can see water just like trickling through like a kitchen window, and then it just busts open and the whole floor is flooded.
So, is this the same area that just got burnt?
Yep, LA.
Okay. So, everything that was held in the ground, roots in the ground, is burnt to a crisp. And now it's flooding, so that would explain why there's slides, mudslides, and such, because there's no roots and trees,
Mhm.
or, I mean, I'm sure it's all dead.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. If only that could have happened during the fire.
Right? To put it out, like,
Mm hmm.
just a little bit sooner would have been nice, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Mother Nature don't care.
No, Mother Nature is like a honey badger. She don't give no
Mhm.
fucks. You
Yeah.
get that reference. You get that reference. Yeah, no, she arrives every month just to fuck up our day. Okay. Any other yapping before we get into Quicksilver?
Oh, we forgot to mention last week that Valentine's is gonna happen before our next recording an episode.
Yeah, a made up
So,
holiday by the
yeah.
candy companies to sell candy.
So,
Valentine's Day happened.
I watched Bailey Sarian, and I'll try to remember to link it. But Bailey Sarian had an episode about like the origin of Valentine's Day. And it's pretty interesting because they used to have like a ritual on February 15th of every year where men like ran through the streets in goat skin thongs with like ropes or like almost like bullwhips, and they would like lasso a woman and take her as his willing participant. um
Concubine
yeah,
is the word that
and
came to mind.
after like 28 days they would just get it on and see what happened. They could choose to stay together after that time or go about their merry way. And then the Christians came in and like changed it up, took out the sex, said that was bad, ironically. And
Hmm.
then it became about like they tried to bring in the like Saint Valentine and tie all of that in. And then many decades later, these women wrote cards. Like they would draw these beautiful, ornate cards and send them to people that they had love interest with. Or they wrote vinegar valentines, which these are my favorite because it's like, it's the petty level. It's like, you're a bitch to me. I'm going to send you a vinegar valentine. And it's like, basically, you suck at your job, or you're a terrible human, or you shouldn't have cheated on your husband because now I'm going to tell him, like, all these
Love that.
things.
Can we bring that back? So
Right?
what country was this in? I'm just curious.
Remember,
I need to go watch it, her murder mystery and makeup episode on that then.
it's her dark history episode.
Dark history episode. Okay.
Yeah, Vinegar Valentines. It was a cheeky postcard decorated with a caricature and insulting poem, a lampoon of Valentine's Day cards. The unflattering novelty items enjoyed a century of popularity beginning in the 1840s during the Victorian era.
So in England, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they did those for, a while. And then Hallmark came along, stole the idea for their original cards that they did, the Valentine's cards, and of course, trademarked it, made it what it is today. Now they have their own channel. And many, many, many years later, Geoffrey Chaucer wrote his Canterbury Tales and made it more romantic again. And that's where somehow the Cadbury egg came in. And then it became more about exchanging chocolate. Because there was another civilization that did like hot chocolate. I want to say it was like Aztecs or Mayans or somebody, like they did it as like a peace offering, but also like a just like a ceremony or ritual just to show appreciation. And then it just kind of trickles down from there into the more cheap chocolates and things that we exchange today. But Valentine's has quite a history, and I love listening to like little stories like that. So I'll try
Yeah,
to
no,
link
that's
that
interesting.
episode.
No, that's good. I'm glad you said that. I've never thought about it. I've always thought of it like
It's-
Halloween's the same way, but
yeah,
also like I love Halloween, so I don't take any sass about that one. But Valentine's Day to me, I'm just not one of those women that like is all about Valentine's Day. It's just like, yeah, do we go out to dinner? Yeah. Do we go to a fancy steakhouse or something? No, we went to our favorite Mexican restaurant. Spent
yeah,
$40. We do get each other stuff, but it's more of like we do that all the time. Like it's not the things we do on Valentine's Day is not something different from how we are all the time. If
yeah,
that makes sense.
same.
But for people who don't get that all the time, I could see how it would be special. I'm just spoiled, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, we got good ones.
Yep, faux show. Okay, do we want to talk about this book now?
Yeah.
Okay, spoiler alert for Quicksilver. I think we've already said that. I'll just start off. Tisha sent me a text, and I literally was like, thank God. We are literally on the same wavelength. We think this book was a little overhyped. Okay, don't cancel us. Don't attack us. To the people in the TikTok comments section, I said I wasn't going to name this book, but I'm going to go back and comment and tell you you have to listen to our podcast to know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because I have people in the comments be guessing which one I'm talking about. But if they went to our TikTok history, they would see the day before I posted a screenshot of this book. So they could have figured it out. But we both agree. That being said, do I think it's bad? Not at all. Not at all. I just think it was so hyped up. I expected to be enthralled like I was in Fourth Wing. And that's unfair for any author to have to live up to that, especially after us spending 3 weeks straight talking about Iron Flame or Iron Storm.
Yeah.
Talking about Onyx Storm, okay? Anyways, got that out of the way. I feel better. Anything else to add to that?
No, not really. I texted Haley because she said she loved it too. I was like, I'm not feeling it. Like it just doesn't do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
It took a long time. Like I was over halfway through before I could really get interested in it. And once I did, it is good, but it is nothing compared to the Empyrean series.
Yes.
Maybe even Crescent City. And Crescent City was hard for me.
Let me say this. It may be not the story, it may just be the author. And I say this, we all have preferences. I'm not saying she's a terrible author because she's obviously not. I think that my brain was having a hard time picturing because there wasn't, I don't want to say, there wasn't enough description
Mm-mm.
of everything. So I couldn't picture myself in the setting, that causes me to have a hard time to read a book. Whereas Crescent City, yes, there's a fuck ton of world building and names to keep up with, but I had a very clear picture because of the amount of time she spent explaining these things. Maybe that's a personal opinion, but that's kind of how I felt there. Kingfisher. Okay, let's just get right into him. He is on so many women's top 5 book boyfriend lists. He's not on mine. He is not on mine.
Maybe top 20. Like
20. Yes.
Yeah, like
he's
good.
10
Like
and
he's
20.
a good book boyfriend, but he is not Suit Daddy. He is not Zaddy. He is not even Resand. Like,
nope,
just not there.
You just mentioned the top 3 for me. He is not. No.
Or even
is
Knox,
he great?
Nash, like
Knox, Nash, all the knock 'em out men. Come on. Just put all the knock 'em out guys in there. Yeah, no. I agree with that. Between 10 and 20, like, yes, he's got powers, but can we talk about this is maybe also what gave me kind of like, well, this isn't like my favorite book I've ever read. There was a lot of similarities to ACOTAR and Fourth Wing.
Yeah. And From Blood and Ash.
From Blood and Ash, yes. I knew there was another one I couldn't picture, but the main thing is the mating bonds, right? But maybe that's just going to be in every fantasy or romantasy, and I need to get over it. But it's hard for me that they can all communicate in their heads and be like these fated mates that are so rare. Like, that's just...
Yeah.
Okay, that's copy, ACOTAR, okay? And From Blood and Ash.
Yeah.
The head thing, Fourth Wing, but not the whole. Anyways, shadow wielding. We're copying Zaddy.
Yeah.
He is not my shadow daddy. Okay?
No. We have one shadow daddy.
There's only room for one on this chair, on this throne. Okay?
Yes, that will always be my chair, my house, my woman.
Yes.
Ryerson.
Yes. Also, when women compare Kingfisher to Xaden, which I have seen on TikTok. Okay, Xaden's hot one-liners, you just cannot beat. Sorengale, 2 R's, well the fuck aware. Okay, you cannot beat, those aren't spoilers, guys, okay? You cannot beat Xaden's one-liners. Kingfisher isn't funny. He's just, at the beginning, he's just a dick.
Yeah.
I'm just going on a tear. I did not like the female character. Okay, she is not Violet. Okay, Violet is so likable. Why am I comparing this to Fourth Wing? Because everyone on TikTok is comparing this to Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a hard time liking female main characters. Okay, I'm a straight woman. I like men. Sorry, so women characters are not likable to me. Even women singers, a lot of times there's a select few. I would rather listen to a man sing. We forgot to talk about something. We'll talk about it. We know what we're talking about. Okay, anyways, I did not like her at all. I tried so hard to like her. I really did. She's just not my vibe.
I don't mind her, but she's just very, I don't even know what the word is, because she's not like flippant. She's just, it's like a mix of arrogant and immature. Like, I don't even know what that is. Yeah.
The pride bothered me. And then when she forsaked it. It was like she went from one extreme to the other. There was no, like, gradual shift. Maybe. That's the way I felt. I could be reading that wrong. Yeah. Also, the labyrinth at the end was giving Middengar Worm.
Yeah. I was like, come on. So it feels like she just read all these books. She loved them, and she just kind of found a way to mesh them all together. Like,
good for her, though, because she's killing it.
Being fae and vampire.
Yeah.
That got me. I was like, pick a poison. Pick a poison. Also,
this is the only fae breed that I've experienced that drinks blood. So they're already kind of vampires.
Yeah. But they don't have to stay alive like vampires. So it's so weird.
Also, who was the little ex-boyfriend that ended up there with her?
Carrion.
That ended up being a fae king. That was a shock. I liked that. He was giving Riddick.
Yeah, he was funny.
I liked liked him. Of course, I liked the one who's giving Riddick. Yeah, so that was probably my favorite character. It's like he was arrogant, but he ultimately always was a good dude. I don't feel
Yeah.
like he was maybe like mouthy and sassy and shit, but he never like was harmful.
No,
If that makes
he wasn't
sense.
like
I mean,
vengeful or just outright mean. He was giving very much good thing I fuck like a third energy.
yes, he was. He was fuck like a third energy. The beating up of the little brother, it sounded like he deserved it. I'm not going to hold that against him.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at these questions here. We talked about the girl already. I can't. Saris, is that how you say her name?
Mm-hmm.
I already forgotten. I just quit listening. Okay, there's some question about the pacing of the book. Do you
Too
feel
slow.
like her pacing was good? See, I agree. I think it was too slow, but the steps were so dramatic. Like, there could have been some more maybe foreshadowing or I don't know how to explain this.
Yeah. Like it starts out a little slow, and there's a lot of action when she like is pulled through the lake. Like I had to go back
House
and
of
re-listen
Mirrors
to the
thing?
beginning because I was confused. I was like, wait a minute. How did she get here? Because she thought it was like death coming for her because she'd been
Yeah, he brought her through the Quicksilver. Yeah.
yeah, so he pulled her through, and then I don't know how long it was that she's actually asleep because they're talking like months and all these things have
Yeah.
happened, but she doesn't know what's happening. So, and then it just drug on for so long. And I was just like, what
Yeah.
is the point of this? And then again at the end, I feel like it was very rushed trying to meet a deadline.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get all the details in to make people kind of interested for the next book. So
Yeah.
I didn't love the pacing of it. It was not.
It wasn't
It was not
fluid.
good. Yeah.
It wasn't consistent. I will say, I was listening to this book and reading it, going back and forth between my Kindle and my Audible. That's one thing I'm loving about Audible being connected to Kindle. I know they're both Amazon products, but this is very new that they like intertwine and remember your
Yes.
spots.
Finally.
Yeah, finally. So I was going back and forth, and I definitely enjoyed listening more because the names were a little weird. But also, when I would listen, if I'm laying in bed listening, I would like fall asleep and then
So
have to,
easy.
yeah, so easy. And I would have to like when the next morning when I'd press play, like go back a couple chapters
Mm-hmm.
because I couldn't remember. So that may I'm saying this to say that it could have felt like the pacing was off because of me kind of getting bored and having to do that.
Maybe.
Could have played into it anyways, but like I said, I think this is a good book. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm being super critical about it. I do think it was good. I just think it wasn't fair to compare it to said other books and series,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
Because is
But
Callie
this,
Hart new? Like, does she have any other books?
I've never heard of her except for this one, so
I
I was
haven't either.
assuming. The Quicksilver itself was a neat idea.
Yeah.
That's how you travel between realms, and that I think that was original, and I did like that. I wish you would have named him something hotter because Kingfisher is just not a hot name to me. Like you hear Zayden and you know
There were several times I was like, wait, is he King Fisher?
because they just call him Fisher. I know.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing, and maybe he is. I don't know. We find out what's his face is a king, and spoiler alert, the very ending, this is probably my favorite thing, she's going to be the queen of the vampires now because she killed their king and he didn't have an heir. So that's, I mean, they got an army now.
Okay, she has another book called Riot Rules.
Okay.
Kiss Me in the Dark. Riot
Randy
House.
Rogers band song.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's Riot House, Riot Rules. So that sounds like it's probably a series. Reckless at Rally High. The Rebel of Rally High. So she's got a few books out.
Okay.
So, okay. None of which I had heard. Queen. Never heard of that either. Blood and Roses. Yeah, I've never heard of any of these books.
Okay.
So
So
she's
she has
been
quite a
around a
few.
while. Yeah.
Okay. So this is her like breakthrough one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Like
no, it's come out and in less than a year, it's already getting adapted, bestseller. I see it all over the internet. Like that's why we picked this one because of the comparisons to Fourth Wing, obviously coming out of The Hangover, and it's very popular. So we were like, heck yeah, we love a good popular pick.
Yeah.
Am I gonna read the second book when it comes out? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I am.
One of the questions, the book is told entirely from Sarah's point of view. Were there any times when you wished you would have also heard from Fisher's perspective?
I feel like I kind of want to hear from him at the beginning and hear him justify to himself why he's being such a dick.
Yeah.
But I don't want a full ass retelling. I
No. No.
cannot with those. I think we've talked about that for a couple of series. I do not want a whole nother book in someone else's point of view. Just flip back and
No.
forth in the first book and just save
Yeah.
everyone headache.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it would be beneficial to hear like his whole retelling, but you kind of find out at the end that like, they're these fated mates and he was trying to basically give her an out. So I think he was just trying to be hateful to push her away because he was scared of the potential that they held. So
Yeah.
I think it was just trying to protect himself and her,
Yeah.
that he felt he had to be a dick. But so after they had sex the first time and the little fire sprite like comes to the door and was like, "Hey, I just wanted to see if you wanted to do like if you needed to eat or needed like fresh clothes or something afterward." And she knows that all these magical creatures can like smell that they've had sex, the arousal
Mhm.
on her. So it was like super awkward. So I laughed out loud at that part. I was like, this
Yeah.
is fucking hilarious. And this poor little fire sprite is like, "Hey, just wanted to check on you. Do you need anything?" I didn't want to interrupt you because I could hear you, but
Yeah. No, I definitely laughed at that part. I will say I did like the spicy. I feel like the scenes were good.
mm-hmm,
There wasn't too much that it was like one of those romance books,
mm-hmm.
but it was like the plot was still there while having some decent spice.
Yeah. And I gained some respect for him when I found out that he had like similar to from Blood and Ash, he had kind of bonded himself to his best friend to save him from something. I was like, okay, he's willing to give up, a piece of him. He's willing to potentially die if his friend has to die, um, for whatever reason. So
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that was um a good little addition there to make you like him. I think
yeah,
that was part of her like character building.
yeah. When she could hear the Quicksilver, did that give you like any weirdness or
Interact more, interact
yeah,
more. At first, I was like, "What's going on?" But then
yeah.
I think it was a good, unique thing. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how to say that. I liked that it was something different because I felt like a lot of this is the same shit that I've heard
Yeah.
before. So I liked it being different. What about
Yeah.
you?
I liked that it wasn't like anything we'd seen before. It was still kind of that calling to the magic or whatever power source, but it wasn't like anything else. Like trying to think in some of the other books, they say that like calls to like or things are like drawing them to that energy or power source.
Mm-hmm.
So this was very different and I like that. But it gave me a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
The way she could hear it and then it just got louder and more insistent, like that literally sounds like when I'm like laying down at night and trying to go to sleep and random like it's literally like one word will come up in my head and I hear it over and over and over until I can find a way to like silence it. And that's my anxiety. So it
Mm-hmm.
made me super anxious. And I was like, fuck, I like this,
Yeah.
but it's going to make me have a panic attack. This is
Yeah,
bad.
no, that part, especially when they started like talking over each other and the different voices, I was like, whoa, I was overstimmied for sure.
Yeah.
I just looked up some of the reviews here
Hmm.
on Goodreads just to see what people be thinking.
Yeah.
This person has a ton of followers, almost 500 reviews. She seems like she's a book
Hmm.
person. Okay. She said, I have a lot of fun with it, but I can't ignore some of the issues I had, especially the first 65% of the book. I like the concept and the plot as overall, but the way it was executed felt chaotic. That
Hmm.
was a good way to put what we were just saying.
Yeah.
Somebody said, am I reading the same book as everyone else?
That's literally, I had that thought so many times. I'm like, is there another version of Quicksilver that I don't know about? Like with the same author's name? Like,
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Somebody else, absolutely fucking incredible. Yes, yes, yes. I love this from page one. This is my exact taste in fantasy. I don't even care. And then
You
someone just
read
put,
anything else?
yup, 5 stars.
Okay.
This person, this is a little bit of a mess. It wasn't bad, but definitely could have been better. Quicksilver technically has the puzzle pieces for fantasy romance. They feel just randomly thrown together. Some things
Mm-hmm.
work and others don't. As a whole, it was just jumbled, confusing, and spectacularly ordinary. That was well put.
Yeah.
She used cringe. This is a whole paragraph. Wait, the word fuck or versions, i.e., fucking, was used 387 times according to my Kindle.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't realize it was said that much, but I say it that much, so.
Same.
This person, DNF at 32%. The girl version of Aladdin steals an expensive glove and almost gets her dumb brother killed. She's arrested, and then a hot guy comes out of the floor and kidnaps her. She recovers from a stomach wounds and finds out she's been transported via the floor thing to land of Fae where magneto powers could be of use. The hot guy talks about his penis size and is sarcastic a lot. The girl is incredibly annoying and everyone has a really stupid name. I went into this book fully expecting to hate it. When I realized I was enjoying myself, I just stared at the wall in disbelief for a while. 4 out of 5, I guess, whatever. I don't care anymore.
What is life?
I'm going to send you a snip because this is funny. The girl version of Aladdin, magneto
literally.
powers? Oh my god, she's funny.
Man.
She is funny.
He, Kingfisher definitely won me over. He lost me when she got the tattoo after the first time they had sex. Mm-hmm. Then he took away the tattoos after like the third time. Yes. And I was like, wait, what are you hiding? Immediately, I was like, there's something he's hiding. Yeah.
Yes.
But then she finds out what they are and she confronts him about it, which I love. And then he's like, he said, I'll be grateful for every second that I can say I belong to you. 80 years or 18 hours. It doesn't matter to me. It'll still be the highest honor. And I'm like, okay, that won me over.
Yes, I loved that part, and I knew he was going to do what he did after he said that. And he accepted the mating bond. Anyways, I knew there was, obviously we figured out that he was with some sort of bond and couldn't talk. But I knew there was I still think there's a ton more that she doesn't know because she didn't even know this world existed. So I just feel like there's a lot of stuff to still come. And I'm assuming book 2 will be a predominantly world building book or build up book for the third. Yeah. I think the third will ultimately be taking down the Madra lady. I think that's the big, because she got the vampire guy. Kingfisher still needs to get daddy issues, right? Or did they kill him? Stepdaddy issues. I think they killed him. I think they killed him, but then he didn't die because all 3 of them have to die, is what they said. But then she killed the vampire king. Yeah.
It's really confusing.
Yeah.
I loved when Everlane, falls through the water into the table or whatever, and they have to like climb through the portal, and they come out, and Carry-On's like dead. Like they can't get him to wake up. And she's like, I'm gonna tell all your asshole friends in the third that you're a shitty lay if you don't wake up. And
that was funny.
He finally like coughs and wakes up, and he's like, how dare you? You know it's not true.
Yeah, you know better. That part was hilarious.
Yeah.
I do feel like people said the banter and comedy in this one was really good. And I just didn't get that.
It has very, very small moments, but it's nothing like any of them. Like, it's not like From Blood and Ash. It's not like Crescent City, ACOTAR, Empyrean series. It's definitely not like a lights out banter. Like, no.
Butcher and Blackbird. Yeah.
Definitely not.
Yeah. We just love a good banter.
Yes.
I'm glad I clicked on the Goodreads review. I'm still laughing at girl version of Aladdin and Magneto.
Whatever, I don't even care anymore.
Yeah, this person just put, I'm convinced everyone is being held at gunpoint to rate this 5 stars. That's a little extreme.
Yeah. I think I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads just because I was rounding up. On Book Morning, I gave it 4.5.
I gave 4.
Yeah. We need freaking half stars on Goodreads. Like, I don't know why that's not a thing yet.
Come on, get with it.
Yeah.
All right, anything else you want to add?
No, that's all I got.
Okay, that's all I got too.
What are we going to do next week?
I don't know.
Did you get Siren Sparrow?
I haven't gotten. Is it out now? Did we do the second book in that series? Okay, so we could do that one. Okay. Darn, I have to go to Barnes and Noble and buy a book.
Darn. Same.
That sounds terrible.
Like I might have to do that this afternoon.
My husband, his truck's a diesel and we're getting like record-breaking cold. He plugged it in today, or he plugged it in last night. Diesel trucks, if you guys don't know listening, when it's very, very, very cold, Fords especially, which is what he has, you have to plug them in. When I say plug in, it's an actual plug into your house, and it just keeps like the juices flowing. I don't know, so they don't freeze.
Yeah, because diesel will congeal.
Yeah, and they won't start when it's under probably like 20 degrees. Or they'll start and it's slow and rough. So he plugged it in and he took my car because I told him I wasn't planning on going anywhere today. I just have a little SUV that warms up in 2 seconds. So it would make sense he takes that car.
Yeah.
And I told him I had to go to Walmart and he was like, do not drive off with my truck plugged in. I repeat, unplug my truck. I was like, shit, I'm glad you said. But anyways, we are, this we probably should have said at the beginning, we are expecting severe weather, -20 wind chill in the south.
For like 4 days straight.
For the longest, it's going to be record. When I say record breaking, it's not the temperature that's record breaking. It's the longevity of the temperature. Yeah. So it's not supposed. It's going to come in Tuesday. Morning, to the point Tuesday morning, to the point my work has already called us next week to work from home Tuesday through Friday. They're like, it's just dangerous, cold. Yeah. Even if we don't get any precipitation, like work from, because people's pipes it's gonna be bad. Like I'm probably gonna put towels around my windows. I don't know, just little basic stuff to help because it's gonna be so bad. And they're calling. We're like right on the edge of the line where it can either be like 6 to 8 inches or 8 to 18 inches. Like the line, our county is like right there. So really it'll probably be a day of. But they're saying like the minimum accumulation 6 inches at this point. Like it's going to be a blizzard. And again, this is the South. We are not prepared. Every time it snows, it's a clusterfuck around here. Walmart today, you better pray for me. Because it's going to be a fucking disaster.
Yeah, we had to go yesterday. We had to go to Sam's Club, Walmart, and Aldi, and that was a fucking nightmare. And then Chick-fil-A for lunch on the way home. I was like, fuck my life.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it was
so
awful.
Yeah, if we don't do a pod next week, we all froze to death. So, yeah. But okay, I guess we can do the third Butcher Blackbird book next week.
Sounds good. We will be talking about that and whatever comes up in the world, between now and then, which in America could be anything.
Yep.
So go follow our socials. Leave us a comment if you agree with anything, disagree with anything, have suggestions for other books we need to read or series we need to cover. And we will talk to you guys later.
Bye.